Welcome everybody. I hope everybody is having a great and amazing day, and of course a great and amazing week. As she said, my name is Kristi Love. No, that is not my real name. My last name is actually Stanford, but my brand and business name is Kristi Love. So in today's session, we are focused on community outreach and your business. I want to try to make this as fun as possible. Because I am a mindset coach, I love for you guys to be thinkers and creating new things for your business. So I want to do a little introduction about me. Okay. So who is Kristi Love? So Kristi Love is a mindset coach, NLP practitioner, and community outreach specialist. So not only do I have a business, but I also am a full-time employee somewhere. Hence the notion of how I know so much about community outreach. So as a community outreach specialist, I have been working for a company here in the city of Detroit called Walker Miller Energy Services. I've worked there since 2017. I was hired in to do community outreach. So what community outreach looks like for the position that I am currently in. So basically we go out, make connections, attend events. We attend local meetings, big meetings, of course now virtual meetings, and connect people with the different resources that our company has to offer. So we promote a program here, energy efficiency program here for our utility company, which is, for those of you that are not from here, which is DTE. So I am responsible for making those connections, going out into the communities, being the face, and just really letting people know everything that it is that we have to offer. So that's how I serve as a community outreach specialist. So a lot of people might not know what exactly a mindset coach is. And so as a mindset coach, I teach individuals how to break up with their limitations and how to rewire and retrain their brains for success. So in that, I have to do, of course, a lot of community outreach to promote and brand my business. And doing community outreach has really helped me to scale that revenue for my business, but we'll completely jump into that a little bit later. Also, I'm from this very cool place that we like to call Detroit. I grew up on the west side of Detroit for about 15 years, and recently, within the past couple of months, I have moved back to actually live in the city. I was living kind of outside, but now I've moved back because my job is here. And Detroit is an awesome and really up and coming new place. So that's a little bit about me. So I kind of want to jump into this. So before we get started, before we deep dive into this presentation, I want you guys to know that you will literally be doing all the work. So there are several questions that I want people to be able to ask themselves when it comes to their business or the business that they're thinking about starting up when it comes to community outreach. So some of you may have received, I don't know if you grabbed it, but the questions are in here as well. We have like a whole little action plan for you guys to work through, but the action plan is also in the presentation as well. So don't worry about that. So we'll create an action plan for you and your business so that you can effectively outreach and begin to implement this process within your business. So a lot of the times I know a lot of people have questions on, well, how am I able to do community outreach and how does this impact, my business? What are some of the different steps and action steps that I need to be able to take? And so sometimes a lot of the answers come to us very simply. We just need somebody to push us to do them. So I am going to help you lay out the action plan on how we're going to get out there, community outreach, so that our business can be super, super impactful. So I hope you guys are ready because it is definitely time to begin. All right, so let's outreach. So let's talk about what exactly community outreach is, because not everybody is involved in community outreach, so we may not know. So in my opinion, Outreach is the activity of providing services to any population that might not otherwise have access to those services. A key component of outreach is that the group providing it is not stationary, but mobile, in other words. It involves meeting someone in need of an outreach service at the location where they are. So when it comes to outreach, I don't do outreach, behind my desk. I may do very small, it may be, maybe an email, but when I think about outreach, of course, we think about being out in the field, out in the community, out in the area of where our business is. Some people have online businesses, some people have, an actual location. So that location that you're at, you don't need to just, be within, your office or your place of business. You need to be out, next door, over here, over there, to be spreading the word and bringing the awareness of your business or your brand. So that's my version of community outreach, doing the mobile work, doing the footwork, actually letting people see who the face is of the business. All right, so let's talk about community involvement. So here we have community involvement increases brand awareness. So how does that even happen? And what does that even look like? So I always say, let's put a human face. Let's put a face to the brand or to the business. With community outreach, you are definitely more visible to your consumers, okay? So depending on, it always, of course, varies on what kind of business you have, but I'll give my example. So for me, I do coaching. I do mindset coaching, life coaching, whatever category that you want to put it in. So when I'm out and I may be, at a community event, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a community event, but let's say I'm at a community event, I can introduce myself and say, oh, I've seen your business, online, but it's good to put a face, to that business. With doing, having community involvement, it makes your business visible and it allows people to get to know your brand, your product, or even shop better. And it helps you to create a reliable, trustworthy, and generous business image. So I know people always say image is everything, right? People remember me for my smile or, for the way I always talk with my hands. So they remember me for my smile. They remember me for, something that I may have said, or even just like my business name. But it's like, I had a life coach before. So people think about these questions in the back of their head. I had a life coach before, but, sometimes they didn't seem, that lively. And I kind of need somebody that's really personal. And when I talked with Kristi Love, she was very personal, with me about the things that she's working on, about the impact that she wants to make. And so that human face-to-face connection really helped me to bring brand awareness and just really being out in the field, seeing what the needs are for the community. So some questions that I want you guys to be able to ask yourself, and please take the time to write these questions down, because these questions are going to be a part of your action steps. So the answers that you get from these questions will definitely be a part of the action step that you can begin to take for your business or for your brand. So the first question that you want to write down or that you want to think about is, what programs in my community can benefit from my services? So I kind of wrote some of my own notes down. So when I think about programs, and we're talking community-based, right? Let's think of nonprofits that, or other community organizations that pertain to the business or that area of what you do. So I do coaching. So let's say I want to connect with a nonprofit. I do mindset coaching and mental health. So let's say I want to connect with a mental health nonprofit, or a nonprofit that empowers women, that empowers men, anything of empowerment, motivation, things like that. I need to think about what kind of programs in my community can benefit from these services. And of course, not everything is going to be given away for free, but when you do community outreach, you need to be able to develop and identify what some of the needs are in your community. So write that question down. You can discuss it with yourself, and you can even comment in the chat. We're going to look at some of those a little bit, some of the responses that you have later. The second question is, what test products or free promotional material can I market into my community? So for me, I have free consultations. So I can have a free consultation with you, or, with the community, like, let's see if I'm going to an event where, here's my card, you can reach out to me, you can email me, call me, and I can book a free consultation with you. People might not be able to afford my services, but I can always recommend them to some other resources or any other free events that I have, so that I'm able to accommodate my community. And I still have that good standing relationship with the community because of the work that I'm doing, but also because now they have a face to connect with the business, and it makes it more personal. The second question that you should think about, the third question that you should think about is, what local groups can I partner with to do a presentation to let people know of the services that I offer in the community? So if you offer, you have a shoe service, shoe repair service, or, you have a cleaners, you have a social media business, whatever the business is in that community, who can you partner with? It could be Facebook groups too. Who can you partner with to do like a very small presentation? Or, you have a company that's dedicated towards mental health. How can you get this information into these local groups? Because these local groups are always looking for different resources, different avenues, different people to bring out to these events, for the community events, for the church events, and things like that. So let's think about, in your community, what local groups can you partner with, to give them, a free little presentation of what it is that you are actually willing to offer. So right now, we are going to briefly, if anybody has a question, Sadia will be able to identify those questions.
We don't have any questions yet, but now would be the time. We're just gonna break in if anybody has any questions right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we did have a question during this session that I already answered, and that was about getting this session, the recording of this session. So I just want to remind everybody that we are recording all of the sessions from the whole conference, and they will be available on the Detroit Startup YouTube channel probably at the end of this week. So you can always play it back and watch it again if you like. Mm-hmm. But no other questions, so I think we should keep going. Okay.
Sounds good. All right, let me move this down here. Technology is so wonderful. All right, so let's head on to community involvement and giving back. So, on this topic, businesses big and small can do something. Of course, we all can do something to contribute back, to give back to our community, whether it's donating, and these are just examples, whether it's by donating uniforms for the local softball team or setting up scholarships to fund for city scholars. So the example that I put here, and I can give you guys like 3 different examples here, right? The example that I have here is Dell Gives Back, the company. Dell gives back through different programs that support education, such as Dell Youth Connect and Dell Social Initiative Challenge. So the company has also established a disaster relief program that helps communities affected by calamities all over the world. So not only is this a big business, no matter if you're big or small, not only is this a big business, but they are showing that they are really about their community. They want to give back. They want to get involved. So if you have a small business, oh, I thought we had a question, but I'm gonna keep going. Just let me know if I need to answer the question.
Nope, you're good. Keep going. I'll just save them up for our next break.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. All right. So For me, for my business, my example would be how I get involved in the community. When there are mental health resource fairs, when there are a lot of different programs here that are for younger students. Younger students, it could be younger girls. I donate and give back to a lot of group homes, giving them free, sorry, the ice cream truck is coming, giving them free mentor sessions, creating free, activities for them to do. And I'm just offering them like my different techniques, but I'm also might be raising money. So if I have an event that's, for my business, the money that I raise for my event, I'm going to donate to one of those nonprofits or one of those programs that I'm involved with, because I want to show them, like, not only can I come here and give you a service and create a safe space for you when it comes to mindset coaching and come for mental health, but I also want to be able to, whatever it is that you need, the monetary donations that I'm donating, whether they need, more clothes, more books, they need to go on a field trip, whatever it is, I'm going to give that money back as well, because I can also make impact right there in that area. And then that shows, like, this person, not only do I often see them, out in the field at these community events, they're reaching out, giving back their time, but they're also giving back their time in monetary ways. So there's always more than one way that you can have that community involvement and that you can have that, that community outreach aspect of it, okay? So giving back to the community through active involvement comes with many benefits, right? Not just for the community, but for your business and your employees as well. Businesses that give back create scenarios where everybody, like literally everybody, benefits, especially if you give back in ways that fits your business values, your culture, and meets the employee needs. So when you think about the company core values or the mission statement, or the purpose of why you started this business or why you offer these different services to the community, think about that when it comes to community outreach and when it comes to the community involvement piece of it. What does your business values look like? Any organization or program that represents and aligns with your business values, let's tap in with them. Let's see what they need help on, and let's bring that to the surface. All right. So the next set of questions that I want you guys to be able to ask yourselves, and please, like I said, feel free to write these down and ask questions on them. The first one is identify needs in the community where support is needed on my end. So being an advocate for mental health, where do I need to step in? Do I need to set up a whole fair? And I know right now we're doing everything virtually, but do I need to set up, something to where I do, some talking seminars once a week? What are some of the needs? Obviously, a lot of people in the community are suffering with mental health. We experience burnout. We don't know where to process our feelings, emotions, thoughts, things like that. And so where does that lead us? A lot of us, it leads to, suicidal thoughts. It leads us to react out in different ways in our relationships, things like that on my end for my business. So I'm literally just going through my head and thinking about, in the community, where is the lack and how can I be able to provide the solution for that? Okay. Also, what local initiatives can I donate to within my community? And there's tons of initiatives, tons of businesses or, nonprofit organizations that you can be able to donate back. And that can be donating your time or donating monetary. But if you're doing monetary, you want to make sure that you still have that face-to-face so that they know that you genuinely, sincerely care about the needs of this community and where it comes at with your business. So the last one you want to do is what local programs represent the value and mission statement that you have for your business or for your company. So we talked about this in the previous slide, making sure that all of that aligns, because once all of that aligns, people are really there to be able to be a resource to you They're able to support your business. They're able to tell other people, they always give back. They always come, to our events and support. So you should definitely shop, or, definitely get resources, or definitely get services from so-and-so's business, because they're always here. They're always making impact. And so now people are more interested in what it is that you exactly do. And because you're such a friendly face, then you're better able to make that connection with your potential clients or people that you are serving. So we're going to take another little pause here and answer some questions. What do we have?
Yep. Similar question asked two different ways. And that is, from your perspective, Kristi, how does community outreach look now in a world that is both more virtual and also in the coronavirus?
Okay, so with me still doing, I've recently been back out community outreaching in the past month. So what that looks like is whatever market that you're trying to tap into, or whatever outreach place that you're looking to do. Right now, I do outreach at food distributions, right? Because now they're curbside. So the different events like that may be curbside, or right now, all we can do is really email and call, right? Some businesses you are able to go into, but if not, the calling, the emailing, and the follow-up stating, who I am, this is what I do, this is how my service benefits, this community, or whatever the case may be. Making sure you state who you are, the purpose, the benefits, and saying, can we meet at this time and date? I'm free next week, Monday and Tuesday. Let me know what works for you. Okay. And then if you're not, a lot of people are not available through email. Some businesses are just not good with emails and phone calls, right? So if you do know that place of business is open, and they allow you to go in there, of course, wearing proper protection, because I always forget my mask when I go in, stop by and visit that place. Because even today, I have a list of places that I want to be able to contact. But what I'm also doing is checking out the location, because with my job, we set up a tent. And now it's business that you do, but we set up a tent. So before we even go talk to somebody, we're scouting out locations to where, okay, could we possibly set up over here? Would this be beneficial? What kind of community space is it in? Or is it a lot of traffic here? There's a variety of different things that you have to be able to determine. But of course, now since Corona is around, email and phone call is really the best way. And if that place of business is open, then definitely going there to visit and meeting with whoever the head person is that you need to get in contact with and meet. But a lot of people are available through email right now, because we're sitting down and some people are sitting down and being still. So I hope that answers your question.
And I think what you're saying is to be a lot more stalker.
Yes.
Just more outreach. Yep. I hear you. Mm-hmm. Good. Angela says thank you. Okay. So one more question, and that is from Charles. Charles studies NLP and uses it to train kids to be engineers and astronauts. How can he uncover their non-geek personality? I love this question.
I do too. I was looking at it too. So somebody helped me, and just please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but somebody helped me the other day to uncover my non-geek personality by saying, when you're learning and teaching things and interested in things, don't be so scholarly, about it. Sit back and relax and have fun with it, because it's what you love to do, right? So you don't have to make it complicated or, make it as, just seem like this is something that I gotta do. So now I'm kind of bored because I don't want to do it. I feel like it's forced, but I know I need to push this content out, or, teach this, or have, implement these different techniques, right? If it's something that people are passionate about and that they love, sincerely love to do, make it fun. Like when I create content, I make it fun. Like from my personal experiences, like, hey guys, I went through this today and this is how I was able to overcome it, but still tying it into the material that I'm giving it. But make it fun. Don't make it, making it forceful or feel like you have to like get this like in their head and like just bash it in their head. Make it fun so that they're able to see like, oh, this is relaxing. Like I can get into this, I love this. Yes. And somebody said being authentic, and I realized when I started a business, I thought I had to be, of course you have to be somewhat professional, right? But I still wanted to be able to show my personality. I didn't want to put up like this face, right? So a lot of people say, oh, well, you have like, these, like she was talking about my tattoo earlier. You have like so many, tattoos, but it's part of my personality. That's who I am. That doesn't mean that I know anything less, but I'm being my authentic self with what I'm teaching and what I'm implementing, into my life. So Charles, I hope that answers your question.
That was great. Thank you.
Okay.
And that's our questions for now. And we'll check back in a little bit.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
Okie dokie. All right.
Thank you.
So let me move here. All right. So introduce yourself to your community and to your community leaders. And for people that may have social anxiety or you might not really be a people person, we're going to have to pull this together because when it comes to outreach, I am a bulldog. I have to be a bulldog because it really helps, my business. It helps me scale. It helps me to be that face. And at least I know that it's not fake. It's not a fake, facade. I'm being my authentic self with, when I'm outreaching to people. So let's see something really quick. This is in my way. Okay. Let's think about this. How can you do an introduction quarterly? And maybe it's not quarterly. Maybe you do an introduction to the community twice a year. You did it springtime, when everything was, out and more people could be outside. So you did an introduction to the community in the spring, and then you did one in the fall. Okay. So what exactly does, an introduction look like? So let's say you have a coffee shop. That's your business. You have a coffee shop. You just opened it in this new community and you need to get more people in here. So where are the people in your community hanging out at? What kind of space do you offer? Is there Wi-Fi there? Is it good coffee, good tea? What kind of music do you have? All of these different benefits and wonderful things that you have going on for your business. Somebody needs to know about it other than just seeing it, online. So where are some spaces in your community where you can do those quarterly introductions? Like, hey, my name is Kristi Love. I just opened this new coffee shop on such and such and such and such. And there, we play jazz music, we play blues, we have these great teas. And on Tuesday, we have poetry night. Give me the benefits. Why should I come to your business and not the other coffee shop that I've been going to for all these years? So introduce yourself to your community. Another thing you can do, host a free event to invite people to your space, or you can do it virtually. So some people, like I said, some people have an online business. Some people actually have an actual space for where they can host something. So I have an online business. So for me, of course, I'm going to do it virtually, or I might do something at the park. I might invite 10 people to the park, and I might host a free event to where I'm teaching them about mindfulness, right? So not only is it free to them, but they get to know a little bit about my business, what I do, how I can help them, how I can serve them, and how some of my services can benefit them, for their well-being. So invite them into your space. Don't get too close though, 6 feet, but invite them into your space and let them know who you are, what you do, and why you're here to make impact in the community. Another thing, and I don't know how this works for people that are out of state, but here in, I'm assuming it works the same way, but here in the city, we have districts, right? So identify what district you're in within the city and meet with those district managers. Okay. So all of that information is definitely available online for whatever city that is, right? So for my job, we meet and send emails, when we want to get involved in certain districts. Let's see who's, in District 2. What events do they have that I can come out, do an introduction about my business and say, I'm new here. I'm new in the neighborhood. I would like to connect, things like that. If you have an online business, reaching out to them via email, or if you see, whenever the world decides to open back up, when you see they're having, some type of event in your district, go over to that district, go over to those district meetings and see what some of those community needs are and how you're able to help and make impact. I was at a district meeting and they were talking about mental health. Okay, I kind of focus some things on mental health. So how can I help? How can my business help this specific district or this specific area in that realm? And another thing that you want to do is, like we were saying, identify how you want to help people in your community with your business. How can I help? How can I provide a better service for my community? Okay. So let's see. All right. So this is the fun part. Before I start on the action steps, does anybody have any questions for that one? Thanks, Andre.
Sorry, I'm here.
Sorry.
That's okay. I just was distracted. There's one question. Yes. Should your audience be more or less focused? So should you be kind of zooming in on one specific demographic, or should you try to be more broad?
I think that, and this is just my opinion, if it were me, I would focus in on my demographic for my business. So when you start a business, you should always know, of course, who your demographic is. So I think that if you have a demographic of, I'll give an example, helping millennials through their pathway to success or whatever it is. You have a consulting service and you want to coach them on their pathway to success. So what does their pathway to success look like, right? So if I have a business that serves, in that community, I'm looking for those millennial events. So where are my millennials hanging out at? Obviously some of us are hanging out at bars, but some of us are also hanging out at coffee shops, right? Because we still got to get work done, and a lot of, your demographic, the demographic, they attend these events. And even with the different districts, they might have certain programs or certain groups that target your specific audience. So does that clear up your question?
I think so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Anybody else have any more questions before we start on our action steps? Okay. So let's create some of the action steps here, right? So what do you need to do some research on? So these are some things that I'm giving you to do some research on for your business and how it can make impact in your community. Identify your local community leaders. Who are your community leaders for you? Is it, people in your district? Is it people, that focus in on the business that you have? So they may have this booming, store. They've been in the game for years. They're definitely, leaders, and they're making impact and change and innovation, in the community. Who are these leaders that you need to identify, right? Another thing is, whether you have an online business or you have a actual space, what district is your business in? So obviously I do my business from home, from right here in this chair. So I think about, the people in my neighborhood, what district am I in? The next one is, where do your ideal clients or customers hang out at in your community? And we were talking about this, to where if it was millennials, okay, so where do the millennials hang out over here. And it doesn't necessarily have to be your exact neighborhood. It could be your city, right? Because we could easily jump in the car and get to wherever we need to be. But where do they hang out in the community? So of course, right now, a lot of people are not really hanging out, right? So virtually, where are we hanging out at? We're hanging out online, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. And Facebook has tons of groups. So if you're looking for young millennials that, are for empowerment, or let's say millennial coaches, whatever the thing is, let's identify some of those Facebook groups that have those kind of people, in there. There are a lot of people looking for empowerment. They're looking for coaching. They're looking for mental health resources. Whatever it is that your business is, let's identify some of those. Clients and customers online in these different groups, or just from making, like, LinkedIn is a very powerful, and I didn't understand how powerful LinkedIn was probably until like 3 years ago. You'd be surprised how many people tap in with you when you make just like a simple post. Like, I'm looking for, or asking questions online to your online community. Who is currently struggling right now with their mental health? Who is feeling stuck right now with moving to the next phase of their, of their professional career? So many things that you can figure out, just figuring out where these people are. So let's identify some of those things. Once you're able to do that, my biggest point is create a meeting with these leaders. Okay? Introduce yourself, tell them the purpose of your benefit, the purpose of your business, the benefits of your business, and then let's meet, let's chat, whether we're chatting virtually, we can go for a walk, social distancing, whatever the case is. Let's sit down and have a talk, because you want to be able to understand the needs of the community, because they definitely do. They're active leaders within your community. So they may reveal some things to you, or some resources to you, or how you can tap in better with doing community outreach in that aspect. And then the last thing would be identify events or workshops that could be attended for you to introduce your business. So for me, a key thing, and it's not happening a lot right now, but it'll start back up. A key thing for me is attending empowerment brunches, attending events like nonprofit events, to where they're focused on mental health, or just getting people's, mindsets together, or just really just giving back itself. Because I'm a huge community outreach aspect. The community outreach aspect of me is I need to give back. I need to help, whether that's donating my time, my hours, or monetary wise. I want to give back. So what events, what organizations, what workshops can I attend to learn a little bit more, so that, when I'm called on, or when certain meetings have programs, you can easily reach out to the organizer and say, hey, my name is Kristi Love. This is a business that I have, and I know that you guys are having a meeting next month. Is it possible that I can get on that agenda to ask the community some questions, to introduce my business? And a lot of different districts and neighborhood initiatives, like the neighborhood block clubs, they also have things like that, to where you can get on their agenda, introduce your business, and they can put your business or your brand, in their newspaper or in their newsletter, things like that. But just always keeping an open mind of, okay, this is how I can introduce myself. What events am I going to? What workshops do I have? And sign up for newsletters when it comes to your district and when it comes to your city, because a lot of that information can be found, and you can find different, right now they're doing virtual calls for Detroit neighborhoods and for the city of Detroit. You can listen to what people are doing within the community and see how your business can slide in there and be able to just bring more awareness for the business or for the brand. All right. And so the last thing really is to go out and make the magic happen. Introduce even if you go to a grocery store, be willing and able to speak to people, to be vibrant, to say, hey, I have this business, and such and such. You could be going to your local grocery store, to your gas station, to the cleaners, wherever places that you go within your community, let them know who you are and what you do. Because once you introduce yourself, you know, I can say, oh, you know, that's Kristy. She always comes in and she always buys this and this and this. So when, you know, they're talking with somebody, you know, I know a young lady, you know, she does this. You should reach out, give her a call. Community outreach goes a very long way. And always have that marketing material available, whether it's your business card, you know, flyers, things like that. Always have those on deck. So keep them in your purse, your back pocket, your car. I always keep, you know, things like that for me, you know, in my car, because you never know when it's going to be time for you to show up. And, you know, making that community outreach, it just really helps to impact and bring that awareness in your community for your business. So I am going to open the floor back up for any questions, any comments before we, well, I guess I'll do that part later. So yes, does anybody have any more questions before we wrap up here?
So both chats are open for you right now. So feel free to just type a question in. We've got lots and lots of thank yous and kudos for your presentation already today.
Yes.
So any questions for Kristy? You guys were really good about asking as we went along, so that was really helpful.
Absolutely. It was, wasn't it?
I know. All right, so just while we're waiting for people to type in their questions, I want to remind everybody that the recordings will be available on the Detroit Startup YouTube channel, including this one. And let's see, lots more sessions left today and tomorrow, and that will be the end of the conference tomorrow. And it looks like we're all set with questions, Kristy. So last thoughts?
Okay. So my last thoughts, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, all of my contact information here is listed. My email is hello@thekristlove.com. Website is thekristlove.com, and you guys can definitely follow me on social media so you can get to know my crazy personality. But yes, definitely feel free to reach out with questions, comments, concerns, and I can definitely just plug you in with some resources and give you some different tips as well. So I just want to thank you guys for taking time out to attend this session, and let's just continue to have an awesome and amazing, great week.
And so, Kristy, are you only on Instagram? You're not on LinkedIn?
I am on LinkedIn,
Okay.
and I can type my LinkedIn here on the chat, which is just my real last name.
Didn't mean to.
Right.
For you.
It's also Kristi Stanford on Facebook as well, so you guys can feel free to have me. Thanks, Shelly. Joyce says, how much time do you spend on social media? That depends. It really depends on my work and business schedule. In the morning, I try not to get on. I try to take some time for me first, but I would say maybe like up to 4 hours a day. It always varies on the day. During the weekday, I would say probably like maybe a total of 4 hours, maybe 3. Maybe.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope you'll stick around for the rest of the day's sessions here at Detroit Startup Week, and I invite you to stay today and tomorrow as well. So thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Kristy.
Bye.